Peter, we reached the end of a year of Kelly's Eye for 2004, and it's a time to reflect, I suppose, isn't it?
Yeah, I think we originally used to call this our Fireside Chat, and we sat in my front room beside the fire with the grandfather clock ticking in the background. Now we're in your front room sitting on a sofa, so it's more so far so good, I think.
We managed to get out and about a bit during the course of the year, though. Well, not too far away, but certainly to Peel, as far as Peel anyway.
Yeah, Peel, I presume the listeners know the difficulty is, of course, I don't work for Manx Radio, I work in Onken, and therefore these things have to be done at night or maybe at a weekend. So I had the opportunity when the Victorian Society had a coffee morning at Ballaquain, and you came through afterwards, and I think we did actually 5 recordings in Peel.
Did, yes. Made the most of it.
We did, and they went out at different times, but they're all in that area, which in actual fact was in response partially to a letter we had from a lady saying, will you come and do my house or my row? I don't know anything about it. The fact that she had to wait 3 years really was immaterial, and I hope she heard it. But yeah, we did that. We got to the Cool, where we did the chapel and the hall. I think we probably combined the two together. Union Mills, we did a pair of houses near the pub called Glenview, I think number 1, number 2, which the Green family had been involved in. One of them had actually been the shop. I think we did the railway pub.
Yeah, we did.
And we did Kellett Terrace up the road. That was the one where there were more chimney stacks than there were cottages.
That's
and
right. Yes,
a little confusing. Of course, we had the bicentenary of the Castle Mona during the year, and we looked at part of the estate.
That was a busy time for you, really, because you had a few talks to do.
Yes, I had one talk in the Castle Mona, which was all for the Princess Trust. And I did a tour for the Victorian Society, which sort of covered the estate and showing how it was developed during Victorian and Edwardian times. That took 2.5 hours, I think, to go around there. What we did, we looked at some properties in Castle Mona Avenue at one end, and 1 or 2 other places within the estate. Also during the year, we looked at some modern buildings. We do that. I know some people say you're very critical of modern buildings. We did actually praise some of them. I did praise the power station, if you remember.
You did.
And of course there we were treated to this light show. It's rather like your fibre optic Christmas tree behind us that's changing colours, because the whole of the power station changes colour with lights, as does the chimney stack. And I'm sure there's still a lot of people who have never seen that happen. Perhaps they better get down there quick before somebody pulls the plug because they're spending too much money. We looked at the incinerator, although there are still politicians who refer to it as energy from waste, but I don't know what energy has actually come from it up to now. And that was interesting because I was perhaps a little critical or tongue-in-cheek regarding the building, which is a modern style, because the way it's done, it looked to me as if some of the sheets from a Nissen hut had sort of fallen off. It's just the way it was done, and some months later I'm hearing people say, have you heard the sheets are falling off the incinerator? So this is how rumours start.
The Villa Marina, of course, is refurbished, but it's not quite your liking.
No, I was critical of a number of elements, really, because they just weren't finely detailed enough, and the likes of the entrance hall I thought was rather bland, and the reception desk just looked like a letterbox slit in the wall. That there were areas that could have been better done, and the use of the columns, but by using the same mould and having the same size columns, was a little bit out of scale in some areas. And I think the staircase too, so when you go in the main entrance you're faced with this staircase which actually divides in front of you, so if you're going into the Royal Hall, particularly on the ground floor, you don't know where you're going, you can't see it, there's nothing apparent. That was certainly one of the criticisms, and I think you rightly pointed out that the Florrie Ford bar, they turned her into the wife of Henry Ford by spelling the name wrong.
Yeah.
But anyway, yeah, we looked at that. But then we had a couple sort of looking at Douglas from on high. One the public would generally not be able to do, which was from the balcony of Analyst House. Front and back, we did 2 programs there looking.
And the other one was Carnane, as I call it, and you don't call it Carnane, do you?
Canaan, yes.
Yeah.
Well, we went up the road there and got as far as where the gates go across, and I mean, I think we initially looked at the cottages sort of over the gate, but then we turned round and this marvellous panorama of the town, which is featured in paintings in the past, from a view similar of that.
Yeah.
And
one of the most amazing things to me, though, was that we got to the 760th programme before we actually got to the Isle of Man College, and you'd have thought we'd have been there a lot earlier than that.
well, true, and as you know, we always have difficulty when it's a case of, right, we need some more because we've run out, and where shall we go? And well, have we done this one or have we done that one? And we're 760 plus now behind us.
Yeah.
Of course, it's difficult to remember whether you've actually done something or perhaps thought we should do that. I think there are a couple we've revisited,
Yes.
but revisited because they've changed over the years. No doubt that will continue, where we've looked at the building that's been demolished, we've then gone back and looked at what's replaced it.
And of course your memories have been flowing through the newspapers over the whole year as well.
Well, yes, that generates a lot of interest with the nostalgia. Again, there's a lot of work in it. I always say, well, it's the people that ring that give me the information, but of course I do have to collate it and decide what can be used and what can't be used. I'm told quite a few things, but I daren't repeat them, and certainly they wouldn't get past the editor anyway, so I sort of have to take these tales to the grave with me. One still gets comments from people, oh, I do enjoy your radio programme. I always try and guess where you are before you say it. But I also get a lot of people saying, do you not do your radio programme now? And that's really because it's no longer 12 on a Thursday like it used to be.
It's always a movable feast now.
It's a movable feast, which is not a good thing, because people are creatures of habit, and they prefer to hear it at the same time each week, and they know to turn on or to be near the radio or whatever, which is a great shame because it does seem to bring pleasure to a lot of people.